What's up, everybody? It's Mo again with QC Millennial Investments, and I'm so glad to bring you another video with the top paying dividend stocks for millennials right now. You do not want to miss the information that I have for you, and if you have not got to check out the last videos, the links will be down below in the description. Those are must-watch videos that you also do not want to miss. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Today, I'm going to be talking about dividend paying stocks and how dividend paying stocks actually work, why you should be choosing dividend paying stocks for your portfolio, and how you should go about picking certain dividend paying stocks also for your portfolio. How does a dividend stock work, you may ask? Well, a dividend stock works and it's paid out on a per stock basis. So it goes by how many stocks you own in a company that is paying out a dividend. So let's, for instance, say you own 30 shares of a dividend paying stock and they pay $2 annually for each stock that you own. At the end of the year, you would see $60 in paid dividends for that company. And now you may be asking yourself why you should be in dividend stocks and why you should be adding some dividend paying stocks to your portfolio. It's plain and simple, guys. A stock that pays out dividends can provide and can create a growing and stable income stream. Why would you not want to do this? And things that I have found very effective when it comes to dividend paying stocks is reinvesting these dividends back into the company, buying more stocks. That way when you pay or when you get paid, dividends, it's growing. As you're getting more, you're putting it back into the company. So the next payout, you're getting way more money than you did last. When I'm choosing my dividend stocks, there's three things that I look for: the year-over-year increase in dividend payout, the PE ratio or the debt to PE ratio, as well as their cash flow. The reason why I'm looking at these three things is because you want to have a year-over-year increase to keep up with inflation. You want the PE ratio to be below 15 because that's considered cheap in most cases. Now, you might in some cases have a PE ratio of 19, 18, where it's still doable. Now, you also want to look at their cash flow because you want to see if the dividend that they're paying out is sustainable and if they can keep up with it on a year-over-year basis. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at the top 3 millennial dividend paying stocks that I have chosen, and let's start with Verizon. One of the reasons why I'm looking into Verizon right now is because Berkshire Hathaway and Warren Buffett just recently announced a huge buy into the company. 147 million shares valued at about $8.62 billion. Now, let's take a deeper dive into what I look at when choosing my dividend stocks. Verizon's cash flow is currently at about $22 million. They have a dividend yield payout of about 4.4%. They also have a PE ratio of about 11.52, and their debt to equity ratio is 1.66. Not only that, but for the past 10 years consecutive, they've seen an increase in their payout dividends of 2.7% on average annually. Now, let's take a closer look at the company's mission and another huge reason why I'm so big on the Verizon investment. Next up, we have Chevron. And Chevron also caught my eye because of Berkshire Hathaway and Warren Buffett. They have announced 48.5 million shares valued at about $4.1 billion. Now let's dive into the company's financial statement. They have a PE ratio of 16.6, 5.93% dividend payout yield. They have an extremely low debt to equity ratio of 0.26. And for the past 10 years, their growth rate is about 3.5 year over year annually on their payout and dividends. Now, let's look at the company's mission, what they're all about, and why they have the lowest debt compared to all peers in their sector.
Ever since a small group of wildcatters struck oil in Pico Canyon outside Los Angeles in the 1870s, Chevron has developed the energy that improves lives and powers the world forward.
Through our family of companies, our people have demonstrated our vision and values for more than a century. In one of our earliest examples of community engagement, Standard Oil Company founder John D. Rockefeller pledged the modern-day equivalent of over $2 million in relief to the victims of San Francisco after the devastating 1906 earthquake and fire.
110 years later, Fortune magazine named Chevron among the top 20 most generous Fortune 500 companies for our contributions to global health and economic development.
At the 1915 Panama Pacific International Exposition, Standard Oil Company California was awarded highest honors for its business morals and practices.
With the publishing of the Standard Oil Spirit, we strengthened the partnership between our workers and management.
Decades later, that message would evolve into What We Believe, which included a significant pledge to support education by assisting schools.
In 1977, we were a charter signatory of the Sullivan Principles, which were created to oppose South African apartheid.
In 1999, we endorsed the Global Sullivan Principles, which support universal human rights.
Since 2004, Chevron has achieved a rating of 100% on the Human Rights Campaign Corporate Equality Index,
which ranks U.S. companies committed to lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender equality in the workplace.
Since 1989, our mission, values, and objectives have emphasized environmental concerns as a top priority.
We continue to protect biodiversity in the areas where we operate, including our Barrow Island quarantine management system, which protects 24 species and subspecies of plants and animals that appear nowhere else on Earth.
In 1995, we published our first Chevron Way, linking our company's vision and values to the way we do business.
Today, our workforce operates in more than 100 countries, and the Chevron Way endures as the fundamental guide to our company's core values.
It's the essential statement of who we are, what we believe, how we achieve, and where we aspire to go.
The Chevron Way has stood the test of time. It's an integral part of our past and present.
And it shows us the way to future success as we continue to develop the energy that improves lives and powers the world forward.
And now, last but not least, we have Coca-Cola. And why is Coca-Cola the #1 dividend-paying company on my list? And that's because for the past 59 years, they have a consecutive increase in their dividend payouts and an average of 8% year-over-year annual increase. That is insane. Their debt to equity is 1.94%, which is very low. Their PE ratio is 19.3, and they have free cash flow of about $9 million, and that's on average year over year. Coca-Cola is my #1 buy on dividend payouts because of their constant growth. They are not putting any money into research and development because they already have the best product in the world. They don't have to switch up anything. They don't have to change any type of technology. It's all there. It's all in one product. Now let's look at what the company is all about and why they created such an amazing product. Thank you for joining QC Millennial Investments. And if you like the content that I shared with you today, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share.